What's going on? Zero to Chaos here, and welcome to another episode of Final Stage News. Video games and movies are easily the biggest forms of entertainment in the world today. I love them both, and we all know the history of what happens when both the forms of entertainment decide to come together. It's not pretty. But in the past few years, the dreaded curse of the video game movies may have been broken. Or is it just a big facade? Before we get started, I have to say thank you to Kyle Kruski for this article. If you want to read the full thing, links in the comments below. Now with that said, let's go. We cannot talk about video game movies without talking about the first major movie that came out in 1990. That's right, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now personally, I loved this movie, but I also can tell you it was not a good start for video game movie adaptations. This movie definitely became a cult classic in the gaming community, but we all know this was an embarrassment for our plumber hero Mario and his bro Luigi. Now thankfully, new Super Mario Bros. Movie coming out this year looks like it's going to redeem the Mario movie credit, but only time will tell on this one. I do think it looks pretty good though so far. Fingers crossed though. Another gaming cult classic movie is the 1995 Mortal Kombat. Now, this was the best example of taking a video game property and stuffing it into a 2-hour film. There was a lot going on in this movie, but it was still a fun ride. This movie in the end did its thing though, and helped the franchise produce multiple movies and even got a recent movie in 2021. And I had high hopes for that movie, even though it was could have been better. But going into 2010, we saw video game movies like Prince of Persia, Warcraft, the Assassin's Creed movie, just to name a few, all do terrible to break the curse. I don't even think these movies became cult classics. We just kind of sent them off to sea to never watch them again. They weren't that good. One of the movies that actually did pretty well during this era of video game movies was the Resident Evil films. After the success of the first movie in 2002, they would be able to create 5 sequel movies and 1 reboot movie to this franchise. Now, don't get it twisted. These movies are not great, and most of them lack direction and felt poorly made. Pretty much just to make a quick buck at the box office. Along with Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Silent Hill, and the Hitman series have had decent success in the movie field. Still not a banger though, still not bangers. But they did what they needed to do to keep the video game movie alive, and we thank you for that. Now with all this failure, there was some hope though. In 2018, Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander earned the highest rating a video game ever got on Rotten Tomatoes with a 52% at the time. This was also followed up by Rampage, starring everyone's favorite movie franchise saver, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And don't forget, Detective Pikachu also scored a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, y'all. Along with the success of Sonic the Hedgehog films and the Uncharted movie, the current years of video game movies have been looking pretty good. Now, side note, I didn't really care for the Uncharted movie. I mean, the Uncharted game itself is already a movie. We didn't need that one, but it did good in the box office. That's all that matters. Now, even though we're talking about the video game movie curse, a lot of video games now have been finding failure and some success within the streaming services. With shows like Castlevania, Arcane League of Legends, The Witcher, Halo, and Dragon's Dogma, the streaming space is looking like a nice place for video games. Just saying. And don't forget, we're getting the Last of Us series on HBO Max this year, y'all. And there is also rumors that we're getting a Gran Turismo, a Borderlands, and a Five Nights at Freddy's show as well on streaming services. Dang. I'm just saying, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount, y'all, I see what y'all doing. I ain't mad at you. There is so much that can be covered in this movie curse. I do believe that things are getting better from its rocky start. The struggle is real though. But with the growth of video games in the mainstream and now Hollywood investing more of that money into these projects, we are starting to see decent movies coming out. And on top of that, we may start seeing more shows on streaming services than movies. Is this good for the future? What do you think? And while you're down there, what is your favorite video game movie of all time? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you can to always be told when FSN News is coming to you. I'm Zero to Chaos, and until next time, peace.